Hello everyone. Welcome back. In today's class, what we are going to discuss, we'll be discussing about drift speed concept. We'll be actually discussing about expression for drift speed, or we can say drift velocity. Then we'll be discussing about I and VD relation, that is current and VD relation, which is very famous, very important for the board exam. And then after we'll be discussing about Ohm's law finally. So guys, these three topics are really very supposed to be important for our board exam. So this lecture is going to be very important. Okay, listen it carefully. Fine, let's start now from VD. VD is what? Drift velocity. इसके बारे में हम लास्ट क्लास में ऑलरेडी बात कर चुके हैं. वी हैड डिस्कस्ड दिस कॉन्सेप्ट इन डिटेल, ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी. और इन टुडेज क्लास वी आर गोइंग टू डिफाइन इट प्रॉपरली, जिसके हम नोट्स प्रॉपरली बना सकें. सो स्टूडेंट्स, लेट मी ड्रॉ द पिक्चर ऑफ कंडक्टर वंस अगेन. यहाँ पे आ गया एक कंडक्टर, और इस कंडक्टर को हमें क्या करना है? विल कनेक्ट दिस कंडक्टर टू एक्सटर्नल सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी, इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी, दैट इज बैटरी. एंड यहाँ पे क्या होगा? जो फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स होंगे, actual motion of these free electrons would be like random motion, like zigzag, that we had already discussed. But right now we are considering its average motion. So average motion would appear like this. This is supposed to move only along the straight line if we consider average motion, and this free electron will only move towards positive or higher potential end of the conductor like this. So here free electrons are moving with average velocity Vd. So let me write definition for a drift velocity. This is very important, believe me. This is being frequently asked in our exam. So mind it carefully and see the definition what I am going to write over here. Drift velocity means the average velocity with which free electrons get drifted towards positive end of the conductor. So we can define it like it is the average velocity. It is the average velocity with which free electrons get drifted towards positive end of conductor, right? So this is the average velocity. Fine. Now see how I am going to derive an expression for this drift speed or drift velocity. First of all, let me write its representation. It is represented as Vd. Fine. And now check the expression, check the derivation. First of all, I would consider thermal velocity. See, if you remember first lecture, in first lecture we had discussed the concept of thermal velocity. Okay, and we have already discussed about average concept. We know that average thermal velocity is supposed to be zero. Okay, I had told you, try to recall that concept. Why the average zero? The thermal velocity concept arises, is introduced when there is no battery. Actually free electrons keep on moving under the effect of temperature due to the thermal energy what they get from surroundings. So this concept appears when no battery is connected. So right now I am connecting no battery case, and in no battery case average thermal velocity comes out to be 0, which can be further represented like u1 plus u2 plus u3 up to n a term if there are n free electrons inside the conductor divided by n. This is how we find out average, and this average velocity is supposed to be 0. We had already discussed about this concept. Suppose this is equation number 1. Okay, now what happens when you when you connect this conductor with a battery? What happens? See, as we had already discussed that there starts some force acting on these free electrons, which causes drifting in these free electrons, and drifting is like curve motion. The electrons perform curve motion under the effect of this battery, and this is called what? Drifting, right? So when you consider some electric field, let me draw the picture again so that we may not get confused with this concept. Just a second. I have drawn a rough diagram. Draw it properly, carefully, while taking down notes. See, electrons are experiencing now some external force, right? And suppose this free electron, this a particular free electron is moving with some velocity ui, that is thermal velocity, in this direction. But as soon as we connect a battery across the conductor, this electron starts experiencing some force towards positive end, right? So due to the effect of this force, this electron gains some acceleration. This electron possesses some acceleration in its motion. So how you will define that acceleration part? Let us write acceleration of electrons. Acceleration, from where this acceleration has come? This has come from this force, and this force is appearing due to the electrical field. Okay, those students might face some issue with this concept who have not attended my first 2 lectures. So just you will have to attend those lectures firstly if you want to make it more clear. So acceleration, how do you write acceleration of electrons, free electrons in this case? Free electrons, acceleration of free electrons. See, this is very easy to write. Acceleration is always given by F vector by m, right? And how do you write F vector? As we all know about charge, that is minus E. Okay, this is the charge on electron, multiplied by electric field vector E vector. This you can recall the concept of force and electric field. From electric field we always write force like this. That's what I am writing. Minus E. Minus E is the value of Q, and E vector is already there. Okay, so this remember one thing while writing this expression, and what is that? This acceleration remains only valid. Listen to me carefully. This acceleration remains only valid in between 2 successive collisions. See, this is a common fact now, that these free electrons suffer collisions against the atoms lying already in this conductor. These atoms are fixed. So when this suppose this particular free electron suffers collision against this atom, this changes its direction. This free electron changes its direction abruptly. So in that case, while this electron suffering collision during that time interval this acceleration will not hold good. This acceleration will not be the right expression. Are you getting my point? Because there would be some extra force, impulsive force exerted by this atom on this electron. So you can only use this expression in between two successive collisions, not for always, right? So so here it becomes mandatory to introduce one more term, that is relaxation time. रिलैक्सेशन टाइम अब यहाँ पे इम्पॉर्टेंट हो जाता है इंट्रोड्यूस करना. रिलैक्सेशन टाइम, what is it? Relaxation time. What is relaxation time? This is the time, this is the time interval in between two successive collisions. Are you getting some idea why I am introducing this time interval in between two successive collisions? The reason is very simple, because as I told you that this acceleration is only valid between two successive collisions. So if I want to write further velocity gained by electron due to this acceleration, then we must be very careful that equation of motion would be only applicable for this time, because this time is indicating collision, the time interval between two successive collision. So velocity expression from this acceleration can be written only for this time, right? Because this is the time in between two successive collisions, and this expression is applicable for between two successive collisions. Fine. So this is represented by tau, and let me consider there are number of free electrons moving in this conductor. So at any instant this relaxation time value would be different for different free electrons. So let me consider this as tau 1 for first electron, tau 2 for second electron, tau 3, and so on. Okay, so basically this relaxation time is represented by tau. Okay, now right now what we are having the scene is, we are having the acceleration, we are having the initial thermal velocity which was already possessed by the electrons even in the absence of battery, and we are having the time for which this acceleration holds good. Now we are supposed to find new velocity. It can be easily understood that this force changes some, that this force brings some change in the velocity of this free electron. So let's write that velocity now. How you would write velocity achieved by free electrons? Let us write v1 vector firstly. So as we all know that first equation of motion is v equals u plus at. So v1 equals u1 plus a vector tau 1. Similarly v2 vector is what? u2 vector plus a vector tau 2. Similarly you write v3 vector u3 vector plus a vector tau 3, and so on. For nth electron you can write vn vector equals un vector plus a vector tau n. Okay, so in all these expressions this a vector will remain same. The reason is there is same force experienced by every single electron, and mass of electron is also same, so this a vector will remain same. Now what we are supposed to write? We are supposed to write average drifting speed, that is drift velocity. So drift velocity can be written as average of all these velocities which are possessed by all the free electrons due to the impact of battery. So let us find out average of these velocities divided by n. So when you write average, just replace all these expressions in this expression for v1, v2, v3, vn. So you will get what? u1 vector plus a vector tau 1 right? Plus u2 vector plus a vector tau 2 plus let me write nth term directly, un vector plus a vector tau n. Okay, you can introduce one more term, but that uh, does not matter, that will not affect any step. So divide by n. Now I can reassemble the expression. I can write it as u1 plus u2 up to nth term un divided by n. What I am doing, I am just separating this denominator part with this thermal velocity, and the remaining part will be a vector. See, this and this are the remaining part. Okay, and in all these terms a vector is common, so I can write directly after taking a vector common as a vector into tau 1 plus tau 2 up to tau n, right, divided by n. Fine. So as you know that this term is going to be 0. Why? Because this term is indicating simply what? Simply indicating average thermal velocity, and I have told you many times that average thermal velocity is always 0. So this term is going to be 0. Okay, we have just discussed it. Average thermal velocity is 0, right? So this term is 0 plus a vector, and this term is what? This is representing average relaxation time, so let me call it as tau. Okay, so here tau is indicating average relaxation time. This derivation is very much important. This has been asked many times. Okay, so average relaxation time is what? Tau. So vd vector is coming out to be what? A vector tau. Okay, आप ये जो 0 है इसको आप बोल सकते हो फ्रॉम इक्वेशन 1, right? And a vector is what? If you remember, a vector is what? This is minus ee. Okay, and here upon m will also appear. Okay, this m, right? So you will write minus ee vector by m into tau. Okay, so the final expression for drift velocity is becoming minus ee vector tau by m. Okay, getting it? Understood? See, this is very important relation. What does this minus sign indicate over here? This minus sign indicate that as it is a matter of electrons, obviously these are negative charges, so the drift velocity will appear opposite to the direction of electric field, right? So electrons move opposite to the direction of electric field, so minus sign indicate that vd vector and e vector are opposite in sign. Okay, clear? Any confusion? If there is still any doubt, you can ask me on 9928029037. Clear? Fine. Now remember WhatsApp only. Okay, so this was the case of drift velocity expression. Now let's come to another important expression. This is really very important. Okay, so don't take it lightly, because with this derivation you will definitely get 2 or 3 marks in your board exam. So this derivation is what? Relation between electric current and drift velocity, or we can call it as drift speed. This is very famous derivation. and important, that's why only it is famous. So let me create some situation. Suppose again we are having a conductor, okay. I am drawing rough diagram, draw it properly. Now we are having a conductor, and this is obviously in the shape of a cylinder. Let me call the cross sectional area of this conductor as A, and as this is the conductor, so it must be containing free electrons inside it. So there is one term which defines the number of free electrons, that is n, and n is called as electron free electron density. And what does this actually mean? This actually means number of free electrons divided by volume, or we can call number of free electrons per unit volume. So this is the meaning of small n. So this indicates that in unit volume how much free electrons are present. Actually density हो गया ना, ये density indicate करता है, right? So as we all know that when we connect battery, electrons start drifting towards positive end like this. Now suppose the length of this conductor is L, and the average velocity with which these electrons are moving is Vd, that we have just discussed. Now suppose in time t, listen this concept carefully. Now suppose in time t, free electrons from this end P reaches at point Q. तो ये जो फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं इन टाइम t, these free electrons are reaching from P to Q. क्लियर? फिर से समझिए. These free electrons I am considering in time t, electrons are moving, reaching from P to Q. Means electrons have covered this whole distance L in time t, right? So the situation would be like, as I am considering in time t that all the free electrons have moved from P to Q. That will mean what? You know, that will mean that all the free electrons lying in this volume must have already crossed this cross section A. Are you getting the point? अगर मैं ये बोल रहा हूं कि P पर जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं वो यहां पहुंच गए A पर या Q फेस पर, इसका मतलब इसके आगे के जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स होंगे वो सारे के सारे ऑलरेडी इसको क्रॉस कर चुके होंगे, इस एरिया को क्रॉस कर चुके होंगे. ऑब्वियसली अंडरस्टूड होना चाहिए कि अगर यहाँ के इलेक्ट्रॉन, मैं सारे इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का यूनिफॉर्म मोशन कंसीडर कर रहा हूँ, एंड ऑल्सो आई एम कंसीडरिंग दैट इन टाइम टी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर मूविंग फ्रॉम P to Q, इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैव रीच्ड फ्रॉम P to Q. इसका मतलब आगे के जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं वो तो ऑलरेडी क्रॉस कर गए होंगे. समझ रहे हो? ठीक है, क्लियर? सो मैं ये मेंशन कर देता हूं, T is the time in which free electrons reach from phase P to phase Q, right? Now current, let's write current, electric current. Okay, so just check this out. Now electric current, flowing through the conductor Okay, now I equals, how you will write current. See, from this cross section, as I am telling you again and again, these all free electrons lying in this whole conductor have crossed the cross section in this time t. So that means, if I am supposed to find, as current is written by charge by time interval t, and I am considering time interval t, so that means the charge will be given by the whole charge lying in this conductor, because in this time t the whole charge lying in this conductor is crossing through this phase, right? So through this phase the amount of charge flowing will be given by total number of electrons in it multiplied by electronic charge divided by t. And how would you write total number of free electrons? You will write total number of free electrons as small n into a into L. Are you getting the idea how I am writing capital N total number of free electrons as NaL? Because A into L is representing total volume, और वॉल्यूम को अगर आप मल्टीप्लाई कर दोगे स्मॉल एन से, सो यू विल गेट टोटल नंबर ऑफ फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, राइट? नाउ L by T, what will this indicate? L by T, this will indicate what? Vd distance by time. यार Vd हो गया. So the expression is going to appear like NaVd. Here Vd is what? L by T. So this is very important famous relation, okay, and this is the derivation, complete derivation for this relation. Okay, I have just derived this whole thing, this expression, just keeping the board exam in my mind. So I have just made it very simple, very easy. You might find some other type of derivation in different books, but I think this would be very easy for you to attempt this approach, this derivation in board exam, right? So this was the whole thing for I equals NaVd. Okay, and after discussing Vd expression, after discussing this relation, let's come to Ohm's law. And then after telling you Ohm's law with all the details, I'll be discussing some illustrations with you, so that this whole concept can be made more and more clear in front of you. Okay, so let's come to Ohm's law now. What we are going to discuss now, Ohm's law, right? Today I am going to tell you about the statement only, fine, and in next class definitely we'll go in all the details of Ohm's law. So let's come to the statement firstly. This is very important. We might have some idea about Ohm's law from 10th standard, but here we'll have to introduce few more points, so that it can be described very in a very technical way. So let's come to the statement. Statement says, if physical conditions physical condition means what? Like temperature, like pressure, like length, area, are kept constant, then electric current flowing through any conductor is directly proportional to is directly proportional to the potential difference applied. Potential difference applied across it, right? So ये बोलता है कि if you keep temperature, pressure, length, area of the conductor constant, then electric current flowing through any conductor, किसी करंट से जो करंट फ्लो होगी, किसी कंडक्टर से जो करंट फ्लो होगी, वो डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शन में होगी टू द पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस अप्लाइड. दिस इज हाउ वी राइट ओम्स लॉ. एंड इन deep we'll go in next class. So till then, have a good time, keep yourself safe, and study hard. Thanks for watching.